Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another informative and important video on the latest trend that's been going on, that is to boycott Turkey and Azerbaijan. Just to brief it up, as you know, Turkey and Azerbaijan gave their open support to Pakistan in conflict with India, and we Indians have responded extremely strongly in this situation. Over 800 people from Gujarat have cancelled their trip to Turkey. Ixigo, one of the biggest platforms in India, has paused or freezed all its bookings to Turkey and Azerbaijan. Ease My Trip has seen 22% cancellations for Turkey and 30% cancellations for Azerbaijan. Make My Trip, which is one of the most India's biggest travel platform, has informed not to travel to Turkey or Azerbaijan unless it is extremely non-essential travel, and it's seen 60% of less bookings when compared to 2024. Now, big serial actors, celebrities have come out on Twitter and shouted that there should not be any endorsements, any promotions for Turkey and Azerbaijan. Now, this has been a major issue and we have responded brilliantly. Harsh Goenka, one of the biggest businessmen, I would say, in India, has said that Indians spent over 4,000 crores for tourism on Turkey alone. 4,000 crores is what we spent when on bookings to Turkey in 2024 alone. Now, you know already that there was around 5 to 6 lakh Indian tourists who visited Turkey and Azerbaijan only in 2024. Now, let's get to the topic, guys. I have visited Turkey in 2022 December. If you ask anyone who visited Turkey, they will tell you openly that it's a very beautiful place. The people were good. Cappadocia, they call it, is one of the best hot air balloon experiences you can get in the entire world. And Pamukkale is one of the cities where most of the famous Indian film songs have been shot there, whether it's Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. Lot of film songs have been shot in Pamukkale. Now, Turkey is one of those destinations where people go not just to tourism but on destination weddings and also a lot of film shootings, lot of students studying there in colleges over there, a lot of Indians working in Turkey as a daily wage workers and in IT sector. Now, you have to understand from Turkey's and Azerbaijan's point of view, this was a biggest blunder. Now, why Indians are shouting to boycott Turkey and Azerbaijan is mainly for two reasons, guys. First reason is, of course, no doubt about it, it's because of national interest. It's one responsibility and duty to support India, and that we have done brilliantly. Second thing, what I am a bit skeptical or scared is people who have already made bookings to Turkey, should you visit or not? In my honest opinion, it's for your own safety and security. Please do not visit Turkey. Turkey and Azerbaijan, I've seen a lot of reels in the recent past. It's not been good, guys. A lot of people have cancelled their trip to Turkey and they have posted reels on Instagram. This is a very, very sensitive topic. This is an extremely sensitive topic because people should understand one thing, that it's about your security. And going to Turkey this time around is not a good thing, guys. It's not at all a good thing. Trust me, making videos like this is not at all easy. But I am in total support for India. And there may be a few viewers of my channel from Turkey, Azerbaijan or Pakistan. That really doesn't matter. I am in total support of this. I think one should really boycott Turkey and Azerbaijan and not to visit these countries at all. They should completely stop it, and this has been an absolute disaster. Now, think from Turkey and Azerbaijan's point of view. They are only responsible on losing out their economy. You know that going to Turkey and coming back is not a budget oriented trip. Turkey is a very expensive country, and I was there in December 22 for tourism purpose. I was there for 2 weeks because it takes minimum 2 weeks to see all the sides of Turkey in terms of Istanbul, Kusadasi or Pamukkale or Cappadocia and Antalya. There is a lot of places to see Turkey, north, west, east, south. Now, by doing this, knowing that Indians will boycott Turkey, or Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, I'll leave it to the side because that's a budget trip. And to go to Azerbaijan, you just need an e-visa. But to go to Turkey, if you don't have a US visa or a UK visa or a few other visas, you have to apply for sticker visa like I did. And sticker visa will cost you somewhere around 15,000 rupees. It is more expensive than a Schengen visa. But still, Indians, lakhs together Indians have traveled Turkey on a sticker visa, not on a Schengen visa or a US visa, because those kind of visas need 6 months or more validity, multiple entry. Now, blah blah, there is a lot of tons of criteria that needs to be met if you want to go to Turkey. So the easiest option is you take a sticker visa and go to Turkey. Now, 15,000 is the visa cost and 80% of it is going to the embassy, which means we are contributing so much to Turkey's economy. And like Harsh Goenka has mentioned, we spent 4,000 crores on tourism when going to Turkey. Now that's not a small number, guys. That's a huge number. And by giving the open support to our opposition has only led to their downfall. Now, you know that a conflict or making stupid things about India or Indians is only going to result in downfall of the country. We saw what happened to Maldives. Indians were major contributor to Maldives, and you know what happened exactly in Maldives. I'm not going to go deep into it. They said something about India, they said something about our Prime Minister, and bookings were totally declined to Maldives. And at the last, the Maldives officials had to come and beg and apologize to get back Indian tourists. Same thing happened with Bangladesh. Same thing has happened now with Turkey and Azerbaijan. So it's really not a good sign. I create this an awareness. If whoever is watching the rest of the neighboring countries or whoever is watching, Indians contribute to the world in terms of tourism, major contributors to the world in terms of tourism. Even though we Indians lost around 600 crore rupees in 2024 for Schengen visa. Just to give you an example, 600 crores Indians lost on Schengen visa in 2024. If you see you might think, okay, Indians will never apply to Schengen visa. There has been a 29% rise in applications to Schengen visa from Indians in 2025. So even though there are so many rejections, Indians have kept on traveling no matter what. Now, doing things like this will only harm their country's economy, will only harm their country's infrastructure. Students will stop going to Turkey. Students will stop going to Azerbaijan. Literally, no film shootings will happen. Now, if you want to shoot a film in a foreign soil, you need a lot of permissions, you have to pay a lot of money, you have to pay a lot of taxes. Everything is gone. Indians used to boost, Turkey's economy, and recent past, Azerbaijan has also been in the list. Baku has been one of the famous destinations of 2024 for Indians to travel, especially on a budget. So 5 lakh Indians in 2024 alone to Turkey and Azerbaijan. It's all gone now, and this is very sad if you look at Turkey and Azerbaijan. But this, if some other countries are watching, if someone is watching, it's not the right thing to do, guys, because you have to only encourage in terms of Indian tourism, and bringing in Indians. You should also think in this way. A lot of Indians have Indian restaurants in Turkey. A lot of North Indians go to Turkey. They want to start their own business. I see a lot of Indian restaurants in Turkey, humongous Indian. If you go to Istanbul or Cappadocia, Indian restaurants are completely full. Now, you have to understand, Indians' business is impacted who are working in Turkey. The students' security is now might be compromised. Now they are studying in Turkey. Now, the few citizens of Turkey, I was just reading an article, guys, few citizens of Turkey don't even know there is a conflict between India and Pakistan, and they don't even know that their government gave an open support to Pakistan. So this is really horrible if you ask me. And from an Indian perspective, I can't talk for another country's perspective, but for Indian perspective, if you want to stay as one nation comes first. Try to boycott Turkey. I'm not saying this because I visited Turkey in 2022. It's not that, guys. I have not gone to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is one of my countries in my bucket list, but now I've completely taken that out of my bucket list. It's not going to be there in the bucket list at all until maybe things turn around very heavily in the near future. Let's see. But because of our love and national interest, I highly recommend you to cancel your trip to Turkey and Azerbaijan if at all you have booked. I hope this video opens your eyes and bit informative, guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video.